Hi, my name's Monica, and the movie I'll be talking about is 13 Going on 30. The film is set in 1987, where the main character is Jenna Rink. She's trying her best to fit in with the popular girls at her school, and she has a childhood best friend named Matt. Jenna is more focused on impressing the popular crowd and invites them to her 13th birthday party. She makes a birthday wish to be 30, flirty, and thriving, and her wish comes true. She wakes up the next morning in the body of her 30-year-old self. However, she does not remember how she got there or what happened in between the years of 13 and 30. She's working at Poise magazine and creating materialistic content, and Jenna's new life was disconnected from her authentic self. As Jenna navigates the adult world, she reconnects with Matt to piece back together her sense of identity. She realizes her friendship with Matt was a constant one that she could rely on and starts to regret how she treated him when they were young. Jenna makes decisions at work that are more aligned with her true self. She realizes that she's in love with Matt and has been her whole life. She shows her boss a brand new design for the whole magazine, and everyone ends up loving it. Her career takes off, and by the end of the film, Jenna's back to being 13. She's learned to value her friendships and authenticity, and in the end, she grows old with Matt. The theme that I'll be focusing on is intimacy and the development of intimacy. And the concepts I'll be touching on are Sullivan's theory of interpersonal development, the ecological perspective on development, and the development of dating and relationships. When Jenna was 12, she was first exploring boys and the idea of liking the opposite sex. She had a big crush on one of the popular boys and knew she wanted to play spin the bottle with him at her 13th birthday party. This is the first phase in adolescent romance. Jenna discovered an interest in socializing with potential romantic and sexual partners. Later, when Jenna was 30, she dated Chris Granby. She was living the life she thought that she wanted, popular, successful, and luxurious. However, this relationship was very shallow and left Jenna feeling very emotionally unfulfilled and disconnected. An aspect of the development of intimacy is Sullivan's theory of interpersonal development. Sullivan's theory emphasizes that our self concept and emotional development are largely shaped by early childhood relationships. In the movie, when Jenna was put into adulthood at 30, her initial understanding of herself is based on what she wished for. However, as Jenna interacted with people in her past, like Matt, she began to realize how much she missed by only focusing on her own life. Through her interactions with Matt, Jenna understood that the foundation of a healthy self concept is in deeper, more meaningful relationships and not just the external markers of success. According to Sullivan, interpersonal needs like affection or approval drive emotional development. Early in the movie, Jenna's relationship with Chris shows how she sought out affection and approval based on external qualities like wealth and status, since he was famous. By the end of the film, Jenna begins to realize that her relationship with Chris does not satisfy her deeper emotional needs for intimacy. The relationship felt empty to her because it lacked the core pieces Sullivan identified for healthy interpersonal development. This relationship would be considered phase two in adolescent romance. Even though Jenna was 30 during this phase, it was her first real long term relationship and therefore fits the adolescent phase criteria. By the end of the movie, Jenna realizes she loves Matt and can see a future with him. Matt was her childhood best friend and played a crucial role in Jenna's emotional growth. Based off of Sullivan's theory, real intimacy stems from the ability to be vulnerable, express feelings, and understand each other. Matt provides the emotional support that Jenna needs. Through her growing closeness, Jenna was able to navigate her interpersonal needs and become way more self aware. This relationship would be considered phase three of adolescent romance. Jenna began to think more about the long term survival and growth of her relationship with Matt. She wanted to have a life with him and in turn make him a big part of her life. Another aspect of development is the ecological perspective on development. Bronfenbrenner emphasizes that an individual's development is shaped by the various environmental systems around them. Through this film, we can see the changes of Jenna's ecological systems from when she was 13 to when she was 30. When Jenna was 13, her microsystem included her family, her best friend Matt, and the popular girls. She desired to fit in and be accepted so bad she was surrounded by them all the time. Versus when Jenna turned 30, her microsystem was turned into her new friends, her colleagues, and her new romantic interest, Chris Granby. The absence of Matt and the strained relationship with her parents shows how changes in this immediate environment impact your well being and sense of self. The ecological perspective helps us to understand that Jenna's development of intimacy is not only an individual process, but it's deeply connected with her surrounding environments. At age 13, her understanding of intimacy is influenced by the superficial dynamics of the popular group, which led her to prioritize status over genuine connection with Matt. Then at 30, even though Jenna achieved her teenage dreams of being popular and successful, Jenna found her intimate relationships to be lacking. This highlights a focus on one aspect of the ecological system, like her career within the exosystem and macrosystem, at the expense of others, like her connections in the micro and mesosystems, can interfere with the developments of intimacy. When Jenna became 13 again, she focused on nurturing her relationship with Matt and valuing authentic connections over materialistic driven ones. This demonstrated an understanding of how a supportive and positive microsystem and mesosystem are almost necessary for intimacy. Finally, the way adolescents are portrayed in the film is very fitting for the 1980s. There are aspects that show teenage insecurities and desires. The realistic aspects are social acceptance, awkwardness, and wishing for an idealized future. Jenna spends a lot of time wanting to fit into the six chicks, the popular girls at school. She's terrified of social rejection and that's a feeling that most adolescents deal with today. The Six Chicks clique is a little exaggerated, however, their level of influence shows the importance teenagers place on popular groups. The portrayal of adolescence isn't mainly negative or positive, however, young Jenna shows vulnerability and the ability to make selfish choices to pursue her popularity. The film mainly centers on white suburban girls' experience and the typical social hierarchies of American white high schools. The themes that most white suburban girls deal with are feeling insecure, body image issues, and wanting to fit in. Adolescents of color will not deal with these issues in the same way due to their protective factors. Thank you.